Hello, everybody. Yes, I think this video I wanted to make is for me is just to start from the beginning, or my beginning, where I started from, um, my personal journey and why I am here right now. Or not why, but what led me up to being here and doing what I'm doing at the moment. Um, I think where it all started for me. Um, was when I was about 21 years old. I got a very bad health scare. Um, my stomach ulcer burst. I had a peptic ulcer, which I didn't knew I had. Um, and it burst while I was at work. I had a very stressful job. I was running a restaurant at such a young age. It was very stressful, and I didn't knew that I actually had a problem. And one day I was at work and my stomach ulcer burst. I ended up in emergency hospital for about a week, I think, and they had to do an operation, and it was very painful. I screamed and screamed, and I remember they um, they brought me into the emergency, and I was screaming because it was so painful. I've never had pain like that. It was just excruciating. And the doctors kept screaming, telling me to stop screaming. I'm not a girl. I remember that. Bloody asshole. So anyway, from there I recovered. Um, thank God. And then, the doctor said I'm going to be on this medication and that medication, and I was on um, protein pump inhibitors. All that sort of conventional medicine and that they always prescribed. And it worked for a while, and eventually must just I don't it didn't work. It was temporary, And then a friend of mine, um, when I went down. That was in Mpumalanga. That's where I sort of grew up and spent most of my childhood and all that. And then I came down to the Cape, Western Cape, to visit a friend, and she suggested I, um, because by then the pain and it just was just not, it just was horrible. I had extreme pain um, all the time, basically. Um, so and the tablets were not working. Um, so then she suggested I go to a homeopath, which I did. And I met this amazing Dr. Bear. It was his surname. Oh, what a fantastic person. I met him, went to him for a consultation, and I immediately knew that this is something that I can really believe in. And he put me on a bit of a diet and gave me obviously some of his medicine. Um, and it did work. It did help, absolutely. I think that's where my journey started in the natural way of healing. Um, that's where I think it started for me, in that way. So I went on with these treatments. Obviously, I went back to Pumalanga, and then we kept on talking, and he was an amazing person. And then he mailed me always my medicines and all that, and I could continue with it, and I really felt better. And but then I got a job in America, and then I went there, and yeah. Before that, yeah, I'm actually skipping forward now. Before that, I actually worked in the UK. Yeah, I worked in the UK for a while as well, and yeah, I wasn't there. I was just I was young and just did everything. So um, yeah, and then I came back, and then I went to the USA, and I worked there for about, I think, a year or so. Um, I worked there, came back, and then I went to came back to South Africa, and I wasn't to settle down, so I went back to the UK again. Got a job, the same place in right up in Scotland. Actually, it was right up in the north of Scotland, a beautiful place called Lochinver, right in the Highlands. So I went back there for the second time after being there and going to America and then going back there again. I don't know if the sequence is 100% correct, but yeah, more or less that's the story. Um, and then the second time I went up there, it was totally different because it was a healing experience for me. I had to go the second time because I was involved with some drugs. Yeah, a lot of other bad drugs, illegal drugs at the time, and so the second time I went up was sort of a escape to get away from that. And it was so bizarre when I went back the second time to Scotland. I knew everybody there because I worked there before at the same place at a hotel, and then it was different. I met people there, I knew them, and then all of a sudden it was just all there in front of me. You know, the stuff that I wanted to get away from was just surrounding me. All the drugs and everything was just there. And what happened was I met some, I was friends with the local kids there, and one day this friend of mine, a Scottish guy, and and I bought a little car and we just traveled. When we were off, we were just traveled, and he took me to some forests and fields, and we just picked mushrooms. So and there the magic mushrooms, they grew in the fields. They wild in the fields, not in the forest. Like they also grew in the forest, but the ones we picked. I still have a picture in my car. My little glove compartment was full of mushrooms. I must actually look for that picture. I'll put it up when I find it. And then yes, we just picked mushrooms and ate mushrooms, and it was amazing. And that sort of helped me, I believe, totally to resist the temptations of the actual drugs that was just all surrounding me all of a sudden. It was just there. And I believe that helped me to just be able to um, get off it and not fall back into that trap of the drugs so easy. So yeah, that was my second time, and it's gone into that's where I got introduced. So I would say into the to mushrooms, to fungi, and it's magical. It's magical there. Just to go walk up in the forest there and up to the mountains, and it was a magical time. So I believe God led me there the second time to heal and to heal, yeah, from a lot of things and get away from drugs and yeah, or find the fungi basically, or yeah, and find God, because I went through a lot of things there. Wow, a lot of things, and I remember the one day I was feeling very low, very depressed, and I was to go pack my little backpack, and when I was off, go walk into the forest. So beautiful, and I remember the one day it was most of the time it was like overcast and grey, skies, and it was next to the ocean as well, but it was always grey and don't see a lot of sun. So the one day I remember I was walking up this path, at the little stream river going up, and I was walking next to the river, walking, and just feeling a bit low. And I just sat down on this rock, I remember, with a little stream, and it's very peaceful there. Obviously, not a lot of people, and just absolutely beautiful. I was laying on this rock and feeling down, and I'm just sitting there, and I remember just laying on my back and just looking up at this grey sky, and just remember saying the words, God, if you really exist, if you're really real, please show me. And as I was saying those words, I'll never forget it. As I was saying those words, if you're real, show me. And as I was saying, show me, I was looking up at this grey sky, and I'll never forget it, this amazing blue, round, opened up in the sky, and this most bluest light sky opened up, just round, right on top of where I was looking. And it was only for, say, I don't know how long it was, but not very long, and it opened up, and this most beautiful blue sky opened up. It's round on top of me as I was saying those words, and I'll never forget it. And since that day, I always know that God is real. Um, since that day He showed me, I've never, like that specifically was shown, but since then I always knew, you know, that there is a God, and there is something else, something bigger, and that was very comforting in a way. So yeah, that was my journey. That's where it started for me, with a connection, I think, with everything, with consciousness, with God, with the earth, and that's where my journey started, with mushrooms and the fungi, and my direction, I think. Well, from there, I never went back into drugs. Eventually, I went back to South Africa and went into a total different direction, career-wise, and I did a lot of things. But and then I started with homeopathy and studying it, on the side while I was busy with construction, and had a takeaway restaurant, and building houses and renovating, and doing that sort of things. And I thought, and I started studying homeopathy on the side, and you know how it goes, and this obviously didn't really work. And then I left that, and then from there, yeah, life just happened. Life just happened, and got stuck in the world, basically, not living my dream, and but then something else happened. Got stuck into the other big, huge, I would say it's an addiction, or spirit, because it is a spirit, the alcohol. I got totally stuck into alcohol. Yo, that was hard. Um, that became a way of life. Alcohol became a way of life for me. Um, for many years, that was my crutch. That was my thing. And a lot of things happened that shook me to my core. Um, that actually led me back to the core, and to really know who I am, really, and got back to me and back to God. And I'm doing now what I love. It's been hard. It's been, back and forth, but I'm really actually now focusing on really what I love to do and what it's done for me. And that's with everything. And that's what the mushrooms and the fungi taught me, and it's helped me to stay off alcohol now for about a year. And I'm not going to be specific, but it's over a year now that I've been totally off alcohol and cigarettes and tobacco. Tobacco and alcohol, and that's because of the mushrooms. Because now I've fully dedicated my life to my passion, and that is to help people, and make medicine to help, to assist people. Because there's no real magic pill that's gonna, or magic concoction, or magic that's gonna just heal you once. Or it's a combination. It's your lifestyle, it's your attitude, it's your spirituality, it's everything. So the mushrooms and the herbals, it's just to assist you. If you don't change, or work with, you'll change your lifestyle a bit, and all that sort of thing, the herbal stuff might help a little bit, but it's not going to help a lot. So I believe it's in the whole that the change comes. But mushrooms do help with that. It leads you to that place where you don't want to drink anymore. you don't want to take drugs, you don't want to do it. So it does really help. But it's not happens instantly. It's not an instant fix. For me, it took a long time. Um, but I'm really happy. I'm in a happy place now. Um, I really am. It's been a big struggle. I've built a house in the year and a half. I've uh, sold my business, and that was another business. I was into furniture, antique furnitures and stuff. And on the side, I grew mushrooms in my storeroom um, with another connection of mine with the mushrooms. Got me back into it. It's weird how it finds you again. Um, it came knocking again, and that was just and this time I was ready. I think I was ready to go full on. So, but that I just decided no, that's the way I want to go, and it was hard. It still is, it still is. But I think it's willing to. It's wanting and willing and to put it all in and say I'm going to do this no matter what, and not take the easy way out. So yeah, it's been amazing. So that was just a bit of a journey that I wanted to share with you, and that's my journey up to now, and that's what's led me now into making the mushroom tinctures, and I'm busy now exploring doing a combination of mushrooms and herbs. Um, so I have a few products that I do that I believe will that works in synergy. It's called Myco Herbs. So it'll be a combination. I only do the mushroom tinctures now. I do three different types, which is incredible. I'll go into each of that at some other stage, but then the journey from now on is just to combine the mushrooms and the herbs, which is it's phenomenal. There is a synergy, obviously, in nature with mushrooms and herbs, and why not put them together in a blend in a formula? So yeah, that's what I'm busy with at the moment. And also then I do a lot of other stuff with mushrooms. I put it in everything. I make mushroom ice cream. I make mushroom kombucha. Um, I make fermented mushrooms. Um, I try to just do everything with mushrooms because I believe it's just so incredibly healthy and beneficial um, in so many ways. So many ways, and also the microdosing. We'll get into that at some stage. That's also been incredible, especially the last month. I got back into the microdosing again, and that's been really really helpful because there were some really dark days, and the microdosing of the psilocybin really stabilized me the last month. A lot happened. My father passed away. The business wasn't doing so well, and I was really in a dark place. So absolutely, the microdosing really helped. And with another friend of mine, we combined it with reishi, and I think that's a very good combination. The microdosing with the reishi. I've had it before with the microdosing with the lion's mane, which is also good. But I think with the reishi, it works as well. Anyway, we'll get into that at some stage. I'll go into that more in depth. And but yeah, that's my journey up to now, and that's where I am now. So I started this YouTube channel called Living for Life. I've wanted to do it. Yeah, I'm really going forward and backwards, but I must just tell you about Living for Life, where it came from. I just moved to Greyton, where I live now in the Western Cape in South Africa, and it was about 8 years ago, I think, around about. So I just moved here from Mpumalanga. It was very bad. I had a bad, yeah, it was really in dark place in my life. I just had to leave and got here. I came to visit. I came down to the Cape, some other friends, and then I just by chance I flew down with just a suitcase, and I stayed with some friends, and then also in the Western Cape, in another town, and I didn't like it at all. I was there for a month. I like green and water, and that's where I'm from in Mpumalanga. So yeah, anyway, I bought a little car, and I thought it was going to be a road trip back, go back. This Cape is not working for me. I always wanted to live here, and I've lived here before many years ago. It was wonderful, but this time it was different. I was different, maybe. So anyway, long story short, I just got a car, and I just loaded my stuff, the little I had, and I just took a road trip. And I came to Greyton to visit a friend, an very old friend of mine. I've known her for so long. We worked together at a Royal Hotel many years ago. So I came to visit her. I was very broken. Um, I ended up in Cape. I think it's just a little bit of info. After a 14-year relationship ended, and it was very broken. It was very bad, and yeah, I ended up here, and I needed to heal again, and came to visit here, and I absolutely fell in love here with the place. That was 8 years ago, and I stayed. I never left, and I decided to stay here. So anyway, I went to some dark days and also depressed and didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I ended up here, and I'll never forget it. I stayed in this little small house, and it was cold that winter. It was my first winter here. I arrived in the summer, which was really hot, but it was beautiful because there's water here, and there's mountains, and there's a little bit of forest, so I could cope because I'm used to that. And then the winter hit. Oh my goodness, it was so cold. Yo, it was like total opposite. So anyway, I was staying in this small little house in Church Street, near the church, opposite the church, and there was nothing in this little house. Friends of mine gave it to me, just stay in, because they were going to renovate it. So they said I could stay there for free, and just stay there basically till they start renovating. So there was nothing really in the house. It was really cold. I'll never forget it. And the one night I was sleeping, and I had this vision. I believe it is from God. This vision, and it said to me, living for life. That's what I got. And it said, that's what I needed to hear. It was amazing words, and that was the direction I needed to follow for my life. That was something I had to do with these words, and I didn't know what. I didn't know what it meant, and so it was always in the back of my head. And then obviously I started making ice cream with a friend of mine. A friend of I came to visit. We started a little ice cream stall. We made ice cream, amazing ice cream, and sold ice cream at the local market. Vegan ice cream and normal dairy ice cream. Oh, it was delicious. People loved it. We had little mobile ice cream carts that we every Saturday sold the market. So that went well. That was really, I enjoyed that actually. It was so creative. I didn't make mushroom ice cream then. It was just normal, um, amazing vegan ice cream and dairy ice cream. And then eventually started selling at the local supermarket. And yeah, long story short. So that's where living for life, I got the connection, or the download, shall I say, from living for life. And then it was always in my head, and then it got put in the back burner because then life happened again. After the ice cream I stopped it because it got too big, and I didn't want to continue with it because the stress of getting, and we had load shedding, and you know, keeping it at that temperature, it was too stressful for me. I couldn't handle it because you have to keep it frozen at a certain temperature, and it can't defrost, and it was very stressful, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, then I went into antique furniture, opened an antique shop, another connection of mine, and then eventually I went on my own, and it just grew and grew and grew, and it got very busy and very big, and that kept me busy. Kept me from actually what I wanted to do, and that's where the alcohol started in heavy again, because I really wasn't happy with. I enjoyed it, I enjoyed the people, and I enjoyed the rush, but it was getting too much. It was just growing, and I think I lost a bit of control of everything. That's maybe also a reason. So yeah, that's also then where I started with the mushrooms on the side while I had the furniture shop, and that's where I'm back to where I'm right now. So yeah, that's a bit of my story, a bit of my backstory. Yeah, but thank you. I just want to thought I'd share that with you, so you understand also a bit more about me and my journey and where I am right now, and who knows where it's gonna go. You know, I'm gonna continue definitely with what I'm doing with the mushrooms and the herbs and all that, and yeah, that is my journey at the moment. So thank you for listening, and I don't know what else I'm gonna post, but it's probably gonna be mushroom stuff always. You know, I'm gonna try and do different mushroom stuff that I do. I did post some stuff with mushrooms, but it just didn't. It was just like I didn't really go in depth of how I do it. It's just like what I'm doing. But I'll get into it and show a bit more of my recipes. When the summer comes, I'll make some of the beautiful mushroom ice cream, which is so amazing. I showed you the kombucha, but not all of it. I'll do the kombucha, another kombucha one with the mushroom as well. So anyway, that's just my story and what I'm doing. And it's yeah, that's just. I hope you enjoyed it, and that's just part of the life I have now, living for life. Um, yeah. So if you want to know more, or continue with this living for life journey of mine, um, yeah, let's keep living for life. Let's keep living for life. There's so many mad things happening in this world. I think it's all we can do at the moment. Anyway, thanks for listening. And yeah, I don't know when I'll post again, but thank you. Lots of love. Bye.